talk to you today about some segments you can look at in Shopify and perhaps do some really cool customer loyalty gifts or promotions just to thank your customer base for supporting you as a small business. And you may not have looked at this segments part of the Shopify dashboard much before. And I checked it out today for myself, and I've got some screenshots to share of some filters that I applied to my customer base in the back of Shopify that I'm now going to reach out to via email and a couple of Facebook Lives to offer them a little thank you from me as a bit of a promotion, a bit of a loyalty sort of exercise, something that just it shows appreciation for my customers, and I'm sure will probably just increase some sales as well. These things always do, even if you don't kind of set out to do that with these sorts of initiatives, they can often end up in sales as well. So have you looked at the segments part of your Shopify dashboard recently or ever? And if you've been in business for a little while, perhaps you have a small online boutique, or you even have a bricks and mortar store. Perhaps you're at craft markets, perhaps you have a few small boutiques or bricks and mortar stores, or a few online stores, or you're starting one for the first time and you're very new. If you have some customers in the back of your website, these are segments you can look at. In fact, Shopify wouldn't be the only platform that has these sorts of reports that you can probably check out and just see if some of these apply to you. They may give you some cool ideas. It's a bit of fun to see if it gives you some inspiration how you can celebrate and thank and show some appreciation towards your customers. I'm going to tell you what I looked at in my segments and give you some segment ideas of ways that you can celebrate and appreciate your existing customers and customers who've been with you for a long time. This was definitely just a bit of fun when I looked in the back of Shopify. You can look at these segments, they're dynamic, and you can add filters to them. Many of these segments and filters and ways of segmenting out your audience are things you can obviously do in other platforms like Klaviyo or other CRMs, but the fact it's already inbuilt into Shopify is super handy. You can contact them then directly from Shopify, or you can pull the details, the raw data. You can obviously hyperlink and click into their profile, into the order that is pulled up or is highlighted in the filter that you applied. You can export the data, of course, and then upload it to your email management or your email software, and then do a promotion that way, or contact these customers that way by uploading them directly into your email CRM if you export them out of Shopify. Wix probably has something like this too. I'm not sure. Wix has come a long way in the last couple of years with their features, and they are definitely up there. I mean, they're not Shopify standard. I think Shopify still stays the gold standard for e-commerce, but Wix is definitely improving a lot of their features, and they're definitely getting up there. They may have something like this as well. I'm not sure about other platforms and what sort of segments you can pull from the back of the data. But let me tell you what I found and what I plan to do to celebrate my customers and to give them a nice free thank you and just to appreciation from me to them. I got a big order arrived just this morning, and some of the products that were in the order were replacements for some damaged stock. The damaged stock that I had lodged with my supplier, they weren't able to replace like for like. So they actually sent a few other products as a bit of a, sorry, we couldn't get you this, but what about this instead? They're not products I plan to add to my website, which is kind of what made me think I want to give these away. What can I do to give these few things away? I've got about 10 products that I would like to give away. They're not really going to cost me anything because I got my money back for the stock that was damaged and they couldn't send me a replacement. They've sent these instead. So I feel like I could raffle them. I could do some sale. I could sell them. But honestly, it's a bit of work to add them to the website. It feels way more fun as a small business owner to give them away. And then who do I give them to? What customers can I give them to on what basis? Because when you do giveaways based on a specific criteria to a customer or a type of customer, you need to just always be mindful of how it looks to other customers. So for instance, one of the reports or one of the filters I applied in the segmentation tool in the back of Shopify was based on how much customers had spent. And I found my 2 top spending customers since I started this particular online e-commerce shop 4 years ago. So these 2 customers have spent the most from out of anybody else. But I'm not going to send them a gift and celebrate based on that, because you just have to always be mindful how it will come across. And I'm a bit worried if if me as a customer found out from one of the brands I shop at that I was their top shopper and spent more than anybody else, I might think twice about buying again because I would be really acutely aware how much I'm obviously spending. Do you know what I mean? Like, so highlighting some things are really great. Highlighting other things can potentially backfire, at least in my mind. I might be the only one that thinks that way. But I thought, man, if I heard from a website that I love that I had spent the most of any of their customers, I would be like, oh, wow, I'm obviously spending too much. That's the first thing that pops into mind. So for that reason, I'm leaving that example out of what I'm going to do, but it may work for you. So if you wanted to know how to do this, go to customers and segments. At the top of that part there under customers and segments in Shopify, you actually have a whole white field there, a whole open box where you can add filters. So if you look over on the very right, you've got a filter button. It's a toggle. If you click on that, you can click from many different filters and it will populate a formula right in front of you. So you can see the formula that's populating in the back of that segments part, and it's giving you real-time results. So you can see how many results are going to apply to the segment and the filter that you are applying and you are building. It's very cool. So the one that I pulled that I'm not going to use, but you may be interested, was just that I did the segment of number of orders and then I did greater than, and then I just picked a number that I knew. I know some customers have placed like 30 orders or 50 orders or 100 orders. So just add a number in there and then see how many you get and just keep changing that number. Like if you find you get 50 customers appear who've placed more than 50 orders, then just go and change the 50 you added to 100 or something until you see what populates and filters for you as a number you could be happy with celebrating and doing something about, special for those particular customers. So that's one filter I did apply. I was interested to see, and I got my 2 top spending customers, but I'm not going to do anything with this particular promotion for them. I could probably celebrate them in other ways, but this is going to be public as well. I want to do a Facebook Live and do this as a bit of fun. So I probably don't want to be public and do that and say it out loud of that they've spent more than anybody else. But there's probably ways I can do that if I reword it about loyalty or longevity or great support. So these customers have supported me the longest. I could say that. I could reword it to still be able to celebrate them. And maybe I will. Now I'm saying that out loud. Perhaps I will do something like that. I'm not sure. I'm just a little bit thinking about it. It's mulling over my brain. It's going to be a lot of fun. I know that. Here's one that I pulled that I'm particularly excited about, which is there's a filter in there called anniversary date. So you can then, it gives you other options. You can select anniversary date, and I selected today. So it tells me the date a customer first shopped and the anniversary of that date. So then it gives me a list of customers which I can see. I can go back and look at each of them and find their first order now and see, was it a year ago or 2 years ago or 3 years ago? So these customers I'm going to give a free gift to. So these free products I got from my new supplier that I've got a wholesale account with now, I'm going to send one of those free products to these customers, like each of them, who have an anniversary spend date with me. But that was cool. I liked that when I saw that filter. And there was a couple of other options. When you selected anniversary, it let you do other things. Today, this month, last year. Do you know what I mean? Like, so if you've only had, 3 sales this month, then you could just select the month and it will give you, the anniversary shopping date last year for this month and things like that. There's probably other things you can do to play around with if you haven't got a huge amount of data. But if you had heaps of data, how cool would it be to select just the day like today, like I have, and then go back and you've got the same day last year. So you could celebrate your customers who shopped for the first time 1 year ago today. I think it's really cool. This is a lot of fun. I feel like this is great. This is fun as a business owner to do this, and I reckon my customers are going to get a real hoot out of this too. The next one I looked at was an abandoned checkout from yesterday. So I'm going to go in and find that checkout order and give it to them for free. And you've probably seen people online on social media, other creators and small businesses doing this sort of technique, and you've potentially done it to yourself. It's lots of fun to do an abandoned checkout order and fulfill it for free. So like what they had planned to shop that they changed their mind on, they're going to get it for free anyway. So I've got 3 checkouts there from yesterday that were abandoned. So I'll go back and look at those 3 orders. And of course, I'm not going to pick the most expensive one. I'm not going to pick the $200 abandoned checkout. Of course you can. You can totally go ahead and do that. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to pick one of the lower cost ones and fulfill that order for free, and then contact the customer, and I'll mention it as well on Facebook Live as part of this whole celebration promotion fun thing, and let them know they've got an order coming their way that they hadn't planned on buying. They'd sort of started it and then changed their mind. The next one was the number of orders, which I shared, but I'm not going to use. And the last one I want to do is I looked at, what did I look at? That's right. I did customer cities. So you can filter by the customer's city or province. It gives you a couple options, or state. So there's a few different ways you can filter it. And I'm doing my hometown. So you could choose a random town, your favorite holiday destination, where your shop is, like the suburb of your store. But if you've got an on like a bricks and mortar and a regular store, a retail shop, you may find most of your customers end up in that one. But pick something that means something to you or to your brand. You might pick a town or a country somewhere, somehow. Mine will be my hometown where I grew up. So I selected that suburb. And it turns out, of course, that suburb isn't just in South Australia where I'm from, it's also in Tasmania. So I filtered by both. So the same suburb name, but in South Australia where I grew up, and then its sister suburb in Tasmania. So I'm going to do both. So I pulled out customers from that, and I'm going to give them a free gift too. So like I said, I've got about 10 things I want to give away. So I'm just going to play around with these segments. I like these ones. I can chat about these for 10 to 15 minutes on a quick Facebook Live. It'll be fun. I'll send an email after, or email these customers directly. They'll get celebrated online in the Facebook Live, and then they'll get an email from me as well. Everyone else will get an email too about the replay, just to go check it out and to say something nice in the comments or congratulate the customers who got something free. It's just going to be a bit of a community building exercise. And it just occurred to me today because I got this free stock that was unexpected, and I have no plans to add it to the website, but it's a really great brand. It's a really popular big US brand. So my customers will know what these products are. They'll be familiar with the brand. I think they'll really appreciate it. So that was our podcast episode for today. I hope you found this a bit fun, a bit interesting. If you need some marketing support for your online brand, if you need some more customers or some more brand awareness, some more traffic and more revenue, head over to Aussie Online Growing on Shopify.com.au. Book yourself a free discovery call. You won't regret it. We can chat about your business, what's holding you back, your current bottleneck that maybe you have. Sometimes we need the knowledge and the tips, like this podcast is a real DIY solution. So my podcast is always giving you my expertise, my insights, my experience, particularly in Facebook ads. I'm a Facebook ad specialist around those topics. So you can go ahead and DIY this for yourself. But often we just need it done. Like there comes a point in our business for many of us, I'm definitely getting to that point, I'm sure you are too, where you just need these things executed and you just need them done, and you're not going to be DIYing these yourself because you're the CEO and you have other things to worry about and other people and teams and priorities. So if you need an expert in the field, particularly in Facebook ads, I encourage you to head to the website, book yourself a free discovery call. It's for 20 minutes. Won't take a lot of time out of your day. You can put it in my calendar for yourself, that a date and time that suits you in the next few weeks, and we can just chat about your business and what's holding you back. You can ask me some specific questions that I can give you some ideas and some advice, and then we can see if we work on together ongoing, and I can just execute some projects for you and get some of this critical work done and get you some reports back and some data and some more revenue and sales and some loyal customers. That's like all what we are looking for. Hey, particularly if you're looking to grow online, or if you have a bricks and mortar and you need to be growing online, because there's many of you out there. I know that for sure. Thanks for hanging out with me today. This was a lot of fun. Go ahead and find some little way of celebrating your own customers. So let me know. Send me an email. I'd love to know what you decide to do, or if you've looked at this segments filter before in the back of Shopify and what you've done with that and what celebrations have you done to show some appreciation for your customers. I'd love to know. Let me know. Thanks for hanging out today. As always, keep learning.